here in Pendennis Marina in Falmouth, and we're about to deliver this lovely Lagoon 450s Alicio. We're taking her all the way to Barbados, but today and tomorrow we're just going to take her up to the Solent, where she's being lifted out for a pit stop and a couple of repairs, having a Starlink put on, and then we'll be taking her across Biscay and down to the Canaries, probably down to Cape Verde, and then across the Atlantic to her final destination, Barbados. But she's a lovely boat. We've been doing all the engine checks this morning, getting ready to go. So we're planning to slip lines in maybe half an hour or so, and we should have a good sail up to the Solent. We'll be leaving in the light and getting to Hamble Yacht Services in the light, and our plan is to get to the Needles Gate just before slack water.
Driving a catamaran in strong winds, ideally you are going to go backwards into the wind. Heaviest part of the boat is the engines. Try and keep as much control as you can. So you lock the wheel is amidships, and use forward and backwards. Yeah, that was quite a tight one, so probably 1.5 to 2 meters either end. Not a lot of room for being pushed around by the wind. But yeah, the guys were great, really good communication, let me know exactly where I was. Obviously, a 45-foot yacht, I can't see the bow, can't see the stern. I'm on a wide yacht, so catamaran. I certainly can't see the rear quarters. So great communication, that's probably the key to that manoeuvre. So yeah, and we're all safely out.
Well, we've left the FAL, and we've got a heading now to start point, which is about 50 nautical miles away. Sea state is fairly nice actually. Some big rollers exiting the harbour after the gale that came through last night. But it's sunny, everything's good, and we're cruising at around 4 knots at the moment. Okay, so we're halfway from Falmouth towards Plymouth, and we can see on the horizon at pretty much our heading a large vessel. So we're just going to check on AIS what it is, and it is HMS Somerset on a bearing of 87 degrees, and she is 1.7 nautical miles ahead of us, and she's underway. Speed over ground nearly 13 knots. Well, good morning. It's 6 o'clock. I've just taken over watch from the skipper. We're past Portland Bill now. Just got Paul on our port side, doing very nicely, 6 knots. We've had 20-25 knots of wind behind us. Some of the waves are quite bumpy, but this boat is marvellous. Alicio is just taking all the sea in her stride. We have a small 31-foot yacht being towed in behind us, so we're hearing that on a pan at the moment. Apart from that, all is well. And we've entered nautical twilight. It's quite interesting, you can just about see the horizon and some stars, so I'm looking forward to a nice sunrise. We're going past Swanage, doing really well. Got a couple of knots of tide with us, speed over ground about 8 knots. Wind has really dropped off now, 5 knots true, and move round to the north. Sea state's lovely, the sun's up, boat's going really well. We should be the Needles fairway buoy around about 10 AM, still with tide width, and we should easily get through Hurst Narrows before the tide starts to turn, which will be about midday today. So we're all good for shooting up the Solent and getting up to Hamble safely on this beautiful Lagoon 450s. Well, it's glorious. We're coming up just through Hurst Narrows, doing over 9 knots, and the Solent is smooth as a lake. And would you believe it, for November the sun is out and it's gorgeous and warm. This is really such a stunning boat.
Coming into the Hamble, ideally if you've got an outgoing tide, then you have more steerage, and as 90% of sailing is preparation, we've hit the tides pretty much perfectly from Falmouth past Portland through the Needles Channel, and we should get to Hamble just after slack water and the tide turns coming out, so we'll get a lift all the way up. Tide will be slack, we'll just turn and we'll get a little bit more steerage. We're going up to Hamble Yacht Services. They have their own pontoon with a great big hammerhead. So port side 2, on we go.